Hey everybody, Terry Good here, and we are on weeks 3 and 4 of your August Abs Core Challenge. Now, weeks 3 and 4, they are the same, so the video will be the same. We're going to be doing 4 rounds, 30 seconds each, and the 3 exercises we're doing today are slow mountain climbers, plank with shoulder rotation, and plank with hip rotation. Now, if planks are already difficult for you, it would be better for you to focus on holding good form on planks for 30-second sets for 4 rounds. Okay, so be sure and modify this to fit your body. Specifically, when we're in plank hip rotation, it requires a lot of stability through the core. So we want to make sure that you can protect your back. So if you have problems with, say, your low back, then you might choose just to stay on your knees and hold your plank. All right, guys, let's get started. First of all, I want you to think about pulling in your transverse abdominis. So from that position, how do I do that, right? The rectus abdominis is kind of like your 6-pack muscle. The transverse lays right underneath that. If I let it go, my stomach will stick out, okay? You guys, this works for so many people. I've seen people look like they lost 10 pounds just by pulling in their abs, right? Sometimes these muscles get tired, they get lazy, they get weak. From sitting, from having children, all kinds of things can cause that muscle to really pooch out and become lax. So the most important part is that you pull that muscle in. All right, so and then the idea alongside of that, the next step would be, can I add movement to it? So once again, back to the point of if your planks, if it's hard for you to feel your transverse and pull everything in, stick with just the plank. All right, so let's warm that muscle up a little bit. Pull in that transverse. Keep your hips pointed towards the camera, and then let's just rotate a little bit. So the other muscle besides the transverse that really holds the abdominals in is that internal oblique. And that's what we're doing right now. We're turning on that internal oblique so that it plays along with the transverse abdominis. Those two muscles together can really pull you in and up, right? We want you to be able to use those muscles all the time, not just when you're doing abs, okay? All right, we're gonna start our timer. I'm using the Tabata Pro app. And we are going to start with slow mountain climbers. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Slow mountain climbers. Drive it in. And I'm trying to keep my belly button pulled into my spine. Trying to drive that knee up towards the elbow. And then if you want to take an extra stretch, you can stretch from your ankles a little bit and try to drive your knee to your thumbs. We want to make sure the wrists are directly underneath the shoulders and that our hips are low. 3, 2, 1. Let's take our elbows to the floor. All right, and then we're going into plank shoulder rotation. So now I'm rotating from my shoulder, slowly coming down, and then rotating the other way. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we do our plank hip dips. So now I drop my right hip down, and then rotate back up, drop the left hip down. It's very important that we keep our abdominals pulled in, our transverse engaged. That's what's protecting the spine. So if this one is too much for you, simply hold a plank, and then we'll see you back when it's time for those mountain climbers again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up, slow mountain climber. Right to the knee. Bring knee to the thumb. We want to make sure we're really focused on good breath here. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Back down to plank shoulder rotation. Rotate up. Slow on the down. Nice job, everybody. Stay tight. Keep the form. 2, 1, hip dips. Rotating that hip, keep it tight. When I say keep it tight, I mean squeeze everything you got. Squeeze your booty, squeeze your inner thighs, zip up your inner thigh muscles. Pull your belly button in. Whew, 10 seconds. Make it slow on the down. Don't drop yourself, place yourself. 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, back to those mountain climbers. Here we go. Two, 1, down to the elbows, shoulder rotation, here we go. Good, slow on down. 3, 2, 1, hip dips, core strong on the down. Don't drop yourself, place yourself. You're doing great. Stay tight. Come on, 15 seconds left here. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, last round. Mountain climbers slow. Get it. Those are done. Let's take it back down. Shoulder rotations. Last set of these babies. Three, 2, 1. Time. Awesome job, everybody. Okay. I'm going to pat myself on the back. That was tough. We did it. Good stuff. Okay. Kneeling hip flexor stretch. So literally, that's all you're doing. Okay. You want to open up the hip flexor. So if you're looking at me, it'd be looking like the right leg here. You're going to tuck the top rib on your right side to your hip bone and lean forward to stretch out that hip flexor. If you're really flexible, you might prefer to lift up and focus on pushing that hip forward. What we don't want is that you stretch backwards from your rib cage. You don't want your rib cage to come back away from your hip bone. You want to focus on pushing that hip forward. You want to add a little more to it, you could, keeping the rib cage closed, you could grab hold of that elbow and get a tricep stretch. It's amazing how connected your elbow can be to your hip bone. I don't know if you feel it, but I sure do. Great, let's go ahead and switch sides. So if this tall kneel worked for you, we're just going to switch legs and then stretch out the hip flexor of the opposite leg now, okay? The leg that's down. So it looks like this, right? If you want a deeper stretch, by standing, now you have some body weight pushing down towards the ground. If you want to increase a little bit more, connect your left rib cage to your hip bone, and then go ahead and grab your left elbow and really open up. these are tight, you can really, well, it can cause a lot of back pain, but it also, when we're working, go ahead and stand up, when we're working on core work, if these muscles are tight, think about it, they pull you forward. So you might have a six-pack of abs, but if you're forward, that wouldn't look very good now, would it? It's also not very good on your joints. So yes, hip flexor stretches, super important when you're focusing on core. All right, guys, I hope you all have a good day. I will see you tomorrow.